Meta Platforms Inc., the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, is currently facing some backlash due to some user reports of automatic follows and difficulties unfollowing certain accounts. Now, we're not hearing that from people following the Conversation Project because we're not getting that actual AI love from the bad platform. But following the inauguration for 2025, Donald Trump, numerous users discovered that they were automatically following the official accounts of President Donald Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and First Lady Melania Trump on both platforms. So it was something that's not an accident because both their Instagrams and their Facebooks added those three people or combinations of those to their actual feeds. Some users also reported challenges in actually unfollowing these accounts, with the follow status appearing back and forth. Essentially, you would unfollow and come back and you'd be following again. Now, the director of communications for Meta, Andy Stone, addressed these concerns by stating that users were not automatically made to follow any official accounts. He explained that when the new administration assumes the office, the content of the official White House accounts changes, and existing followers of previous administration basically are carried over to new accounts, i.e. the old vice president was swapped out, Kamala, for J.D. Vance. The old president swapped out, Biden for Trump, and the first lady, Jill, for Melania. Essentially, it was just a switch. You actually did not sign up for new people. They just changed the official accounts going forward. And despite the explanation, many users expressed frustration, especially those who had not previously followed the political accounts at all, i.e. they weren't following the official presidential, vice presidential, or first lady accounts and found themselves following them anyway. Situation led to skepticism and much criticism, which they get a lot at Meta, with some users questioning Meta's transparency and execution to account transition policies. In addition to the auto-follow concerns, Meta has faced criticism over handling of AI generation profiles on the platforms for a while. Earlier this month, they actually introduced AI-generated accounts on Instagram and Facebook as part of an experimental initiative and pulled them off because they are just too weird, too creepy to be thinking to famous people that aren't, that would essentially were, cash grabs and maybe scams. These incidents actually intensify the scrutiny of Meta's recent policy changes and what's going on back there, including third-party fact-checkers removal and the rollback of diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. A whole lot of things are going on at Meta as they're trying to do more autonomy, transparency, and ethical practices. But in the meantime, they're just sort of screwing things up. That's kind of what's happening. Mark Zuckerberg is the CEO, the head, the founder, all those great things. He can't do it all by himself, but he gets all the blame because he's a public figure that has to actually explain the way these things. And he's not explaining them very well, and the people he has paid for him to explain them aren't doing the same thing as well. So while he's palling around at inaugurations, hanging out with his other billionaire friends and just kind of being Zuckerberg, with masculine energy, I guess, and a really, really weird perm now. Things are going not so great for Meta, not so great for Facebook, for Instagram. Now, full disclosure, we use Facebook immensely for our conversation projects to engage with you and get all the stories we get going forward. So we need Facebook to live. We need Facebook to grow. We need people to want to be there because it works for us. Even though some changes have been made to make it not work as well as it had done in the past, it works well for us, and we need you guys to be a part of the us to work this thing here. What we don't need is bad Zuckerberg just being a bad Zuckerberg in general and just being just kind of a seemingly clueless guy. I don't know him. He probably is a great genius. He probably has a kind heart, and I'm sure he loves his daughters and his wife and his fans and his friends and family going forward. But all the things I hear from people who have interacted with him, either in workplace or in interviews, say that he's totally awkward, just kind of a, basically all this stuff is essentially luck, has no real direction, and will follow whoever will give him the best attention, which may sound like another guy who's in charge of things right now. So we need Facebook to survive. We need Facebook to do great. We need it not to add people to your list that you don't want to see, because you need more people to see the Conversation Projects feed. Go to facebook.com/thisIsAConversation project, and you will find this conversation. There it is. And you will find us there. And follow us, follow our feed, engage in the stories, and you can vote up stories like this one if you deem us worthy.